Hi, welcome to another episode of Webcam Sessions. This week we're going to be learning the very first part of the Addams Family's theme song and learning some importance of fretting habits and concepts of how you can play the same notes in a variety of positions on the ukulele. So let's go ahead and get started. To start with this, we're going to be using our G and A strings, and we're going to play the exact same thing on both strings. So let's go ahead and start with the G. If you've got a low G ukulele, this will still work, still sound good, but it'll sound a little bit different than what I'm doing. So with our G, let's go ahead and play it open. And now let's take our index finger, place it on the 2nd fret, and then our ring finger on the 4th, and then pinky on the 5th. Now let's go ahead and do that just like that. You can hear that starts the sort of Addams Family theme song sound. Now as I do this, I'm abiding by a rule, which is 1 finger per fret. So I'm starting with my index here at 2 because that's the lowest number that's not 0. And then I'm going to be assigning each one of my fingers to a fret. And because I'm playing 2, 4, and 5, means my index, ring, and pinky fingers will see use. So my middle finger, unfortunately, is being left out right now. But you can see that it's incredibly efficient as opposed to doing something like this, which is where I'm essentially moving 1 finger up to create the sound, right? So this maximizes that efficiency. And to play it just like the Addams Family, what we do is after we play on the G string, we immediately go to the A string and do the same thing. 1 finger per fret starting on the 2nd one. So we're going to play open, 2 with our index, 4 with our ring, and 5 with our pinky. We're going to do that again. Right? So starting on the G, and then the A. Then we do it again on the A. Again, and then back to the G. Right? So it's once on the G, 3 times on the A, once on the G. And that gets us the sound of the Addams Family. Pretty cool, right? And if you really want to make it authentic, you gotta get the claps, right? So what you can do is just lay your fingers across the strings and pluck through them to create a deadened sound. So what I'm doing is just barely touching the strings, making sure that I'm not pushing hard to create musical sounds, but to mute them. And so just with that, we can play the Addams Family, right? Pretty cool, right? But the real point to today's lesson is to talk about how we can play this in different places, right? A multitude of places. And so the first place we're going to play this right now is we're going to look to start on 3 on the E string. We're going to play the exact same melody notes, only in a different point on the ukulele, still using that 1 finger per fret rule, but now going over multiple strings. So let's go ahead and try this. We're going to start by playing our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the E string. So you'll notice that's the same as our open G. Now we're doing 1 finger per fret, and because we're starting here with the middle finger, we've assigned the fingers to the frets. We know that this one's going to be here, we know this one's going to be here, here, and here, right? 1 finger per fret. Now I'm going to play the 5 on the E string with my pinky. So 3, 5. Then I'm going to use my index finger, play 2 on the A, and then my middle finger to play 3 on the A. So it goes, right? Pretty cool. Again, 1 finger per fret. Now from here, we're going to start with the 5 on the E string. And then we're going to play the 2 on the A, and then the 4 on the A with the ring, and then the 5 with the pinky. So it's, right? So you hear that and sound exactly the same, right? All these different ways of playing it sound the same. So why are we learning them, right? Well, the reason is because the second way we're playing it uses no open strings, which means that we could move it anywhere on the fretboard, keeping the same relationship between the fingers, right? Because we're keeping 1 finger per fret and then moving based on that, right now we're playing this song in the key of, what are we playing it? In the key of C. And so if we wanted to play it in, say, the key of D, we could actually just move our fingers up to create that same sort of sound in a different place. And that's kind of the point to this, right? So let's go ahead and try it again in the second position. And we're going to try with our middle finger here on 3. We go 3, 5 with the pinky, 2 on the A, 3 on the A. Then we'll do our mute. Do it again. Excuse me. We go to the next one, which will be the 5 on the E, 2 on the A, 4 on the A, 5 on the A. Do that again. And then do it again. And then do the G. Right? So we still create that same sound that we did down here. So the last way that we want to work on this is we want to go all the way up the fretboard so that we can be able to play this same melody in one more spot all the way up, right? And the way that I like to play this up here is starting on 7 of the C with our index finger. You'll notice that's the same as this G and this G, all the same note, right? So another way of playing it. Then we're going to use our ring finger on 9 of the C, index on 7 of the E, middle on 8 of the E. So we have 7, 9, 7, 8, right? So now to move forward with this, for the next section, we'll play our ring finger on 9 of the C, and then 7 on the E with the index, 9 on the E with the ring, and then 10 on the E with the pinky. So we have the first one, second one. So when we play the song, just like we were before, it's now, oops. Pretty cool, right? Hopefully you won't make that same mistake I did, right? But what's interesting about this is they're all the same way, the same part of the song, the same notes being used, but using them in a different position on the ukulele. And that's a really important skill to acquire because it allows you to identify with which one is best suited for the way that you're playing the song, right? And so if I were playing the melody of Addams Family down here, right? That's going to be better to be using this or this because I'm in this zone, right? But if I were playing that same melody up here, right? If I were trying to play it where I'm essentially going, then it might be better to play it up here instead, right? So if you want to check out the full video of the tutorial of the Addams Family, be sure to check out the link below. You can see a tutorial video that I did on my own showing the Addams Family theme song. Had a lot of fun doing it, so please check it out if you haven't already. Be sure to be working on these, playing in as many different ways as you can, looking at the same notes, because playing things in a variety of ways is really important and can really open up your understanding of the fretboard and all that good stuff. So hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next week for another episode of Webcam Sessions.